Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 early games, post-game show, and late games pre-game show. Probably a combination halftime as well because they're fully underway. But we'll get to those just a sec. But first, we're going to get to the Browns lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 33-18 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. The Browns looked good early on, but then the Browns' old tricks came back again, and they just fell apart in the second half. The Browns jumped out to the early 3-0 lead in the first. Greg Joseph kicked a 34-yard field goal, and it was good. And the Steelers had made 3 plays and had to punt. Then the Browns made 4 plays and then went 3-0. And they had to punt. The Browns had to punt, and the Steelers had the ball at the Browns' 38-yard line, but after 3 plays, the Steelers QB Ben Roethlisberger threw an interception, and the Browns recovered the ball, and the Steelers at the Steelers' 44-yard line, and they went 29 yards, but the Browns kicked another field goal. Craig Joseph from 45 yards out, and the kick is good, and it was 6-0 Browns lead. The Steelers had the ball at their own 25. They had made 3 plays and had a 1-yard loss. That was Roethlisberger. They got sacked as well and were forced to punt. Then the Browns made 5 plays and went 23 yards and started at Pittsburgh's 46, at the Pittsburgh 46. The Browns kicked another field goal, but it was missed, and it was 6-0 Browns at the end of the first quarter. In the second, the Steelers scored a touchdown thanks to Ben Roethlisberger's deep left pass to Antonio Brown for 43 yards, and it was 7-6 Steelers lead. The Browns had the ball at their own 25 and made 8 plays, but then Baker Mayfield threw an interception, and the Steelers' James Conner grabbed the interception. He caught it, and the Steelers had the ball at their own 13, and Ben Roethlisberger threw a pass to short left to Antonio Brown for a 1-yard touchdown, and it was 14-6 at halftime. And it was a long day for the Browns, that's for sure. In the third, the Steelers fumbled the ball, and the Browns recovered the ball at their own 29 and made 3 plays, but then went 3 and out, and the Browns had to punt again. The Steelers had the ball at their own 34, made 4 plays and went 3 and out, and the Steelers had the punt yet again. The Browns, I apologize for the technical difficulty. I am sorry. And the Steelers had the punt. The Browns had the ball at their own 4. Baker Mayfield, short left pass to Nick Chubb to Cleveland was 6 for 1 yard. Vince Williams, and it was Vince Williams. Penalty on Cleveland's defensive end, Demarius Harrison. It was an offensive holding 5 yards in force and ends, and it was a safety, and there was no play. The Browns scored a touchdown thanks to Baker Mayfield's pass to short left to Antonio Callaway for 1 yard, and the extra point, however, was missed, and it was 14-12 Steelers lead. Then the Steelers scored another touchdown. James Conner, right end, for 12 yards, and it was 23-12 Steelers lead. The Browns had the ball at their own 21. They made 3 plays and had a 4-yard loss. Baker Mayfield was sacked, and the Browns had the punt. The Steelers kicked a field goal. Chris Boswell from 42 yards out, and the kick was good. And it was 26-12 at the end of the third quarter. And things just got even worse for the Browns in the fourth. The Browns had the ball at their own 24, made 3 plays, and had a 6-yard loss. Baker Mayfield sacked again, and the Browns had the punt. Then Pittsburgh had the ball at their own 42, made 3 plays for 2 yards, and Steelers had the punt. The Browns had the ball at their own 8, made 4 plays for 11 yards, but the Browns had the punt. Then the Steelers scored another touchdown thanks to James Conner, left tackle, for 22 yards, and it was 33-12 Steelers lead. The Browns scored a touchdown in the final seconds of the fourth quarter. Baker Mayfield threw a deep middle pass to Seth DeVal for 24 yards, but it was too little too late as the Steelers went on to win 33-18. And the Steelers go to 4-3-1. And the Browns fall to 2-5-1. So basically the Browns, what we wanted did not happen, and the Browns playoff, their chance for playoff hopes it's over. It's gone. To sum it up, Baker Mayfield, 22 of 36 carries and attempts, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Nick Chubb, 18 carries, 65 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Jarvis Landry, 8 recovers, 39 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Antonio Callaway, 5 recovers, 36 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Seth DeValve, 2 recovers, 28 yards, and no interceptions. But you got to give credit to where credit is due, and I wish I could have given a game ball to the Browns today, but not so today. It's got to go to the Steelers. I'm sorry. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, 24 for 36 yards, 24 for 36 carries and attempts, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. James Conner, 24 carries, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception. And Antonio Brown, 6 recovers, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So Ben Roethlisberger, James Conner, and Antonio Brown all get game balls. The Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday game balls. They get them. The Browns, they look good early on, but they were not ready. They had to be ready. Baker Mayfield and the offense had to be ready, and they just were not. They fell apart that second half. And, guys, you're going to have to regroup because Hugh Jackson, you need to win these next 2 games. KC and the one after, and Atlanta. Both of those. You've got to win them both, or your job is history, or your history, pal. So these next 2 wins are must-wins for the Browns and Hugh Jackson. So we must win these next 2 games. So it's really I think it's do or die for Browns head coach Hugh Jackson. Now we're going to get the rest of the early game scores for you. And I'm going to do that right now. Let me flip back a few pages here. I already told you the Eagles beat the Jaguars in Wembley Stadium in London 24-18. And you already know that the Texans beat the Dolphins Thursday night 42-23. Well, from the early games today, you already know the Steelers beat the Browns, 33-18 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. The Carolina Panthers beat the Baltimore Ravens in Carolina 36-21. Baltimore had been down 21-7, but they tried to battle back, but just could not. But they did get it up to 21. The Chiefs beat the Broncos in Arrowhead Stadium to go to 7-1, 30-23 at Arrowhead Stadium. And the Browns do face the Chiefs next Sunday at home at First Energy Stadium. And that's one game that is a must-win. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Detroit Lions in Detroit at Ford Field, 28-14. Well, this was a tough loss for Detroit. And Detroit just did not have it in them today. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay came back and tied it at 34, but Cincinnati kicked the field goal, came back and won it, 37-34. Big win for the Bengals today. And that put the Bengals in second place in the AFC North. The Chicago Bears beat the New York Jets 24-10 at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Washington Redskins beat the New York Giants 20-13 at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And the 4 o'clock late games are very much underway. The Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers, they're playing right now, are squaring off right now, have been squaring off. The LA Rams and the Green Bay Packers are squaring off right now, and the Indianapolis Colts and the Oakland Raiders are squaring off at the Oakland Coliseum, Company Coliseum in Oakland, California. And the Rams and the Packers are at Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, and the Phoenix Stadium for the Cardinals and Niners. So, and don't forget Sunday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings at U.S. Bank Stadium. And tomorrow's Monday Night Football game, the New England Patriots will take on the Buffalo Bills at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo. And I feel New England is going to get that win on the road. I feel they are. So, this has been a pivotal week of football so far with the early games. And I got to tell you, the Browns, they just did not have it today. They were not ready. Baker Mayfield on the offense were not ready. And I got to tell you, this just was not a game. A game just was not what we thought it was going to be, and it was an entirely different game. But the Steelers from week 1, but the Steelers prevailed in the second time we've played them, and the final time for this season. So the Browns will have to regroup to hopefully try to beat the 7-1 Kansas City Chiefs, and that's not going to be easy. Even though it is at home, they are going to be underdogs most likely. So we shall see what happens in that game. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 early games pregame show. I'll have a postgame show for the late games after the late games have concluded, and a preview of the Sunday Night Football pregame show and preview the Sunday night game once the 4 o'clock late games have concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day, in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.